Just got in the latest limited edition release from Games Workshop DreadFleet. I'm going to open it up and take a look at it. I know Beast of War did an unboxing. I'm not sure if the video is open to the general public or just their backstage members, but they did a pretty good unboxing of it if you don't catch what you need in this one. I believe this is supposed to be not only the limited release like Space Hulk, but it's also supposed to be more scenario driven. So it's not meant to be an expandable game system. You're meant to play through a set of probably a dozen scenarios. Box open. It's nice and tight here. There we go. We'll look at the miniatures last, but it looks like you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sprues. Bag of dice with it. You get just a divider. Some small cards, some more small cards, and get a rule book, some large cards, some storage baggies to put it in, and get your play mat. And this is a cloth mat. Let's see if I can get in close on it. See the quality of it. You have kind of the old map fringe around the side, like an old sea chart, and then you have the kind of blue black ocean texture, but it also, you can kind of see bones and shadows in the water, like beasts or something slightly underneath the water. So we'll take a look at some of these larger cards here. Looks like you have the ship cards. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ships there. And then you have some, these look like they're probably order cards. Full speed ahead, hard to port, hard to starboard, fire as she bears, repair. Full speed ahead, hard to port, so it looks like they're maybe for the two different sides. They're slightly different colored. Some of these smaller cards. Looks like you have a submerged card, maybe to keep track of the Chaos Dwarf ship. Some different status cards, looks like. These at anchor or ablaze is the other side. So those are a couple of different status, and then you got some wound cards, some auxiliary. Let's see what the auxiliary cards are. So these look like they're the monsters and other support things maybe you can get in the different scenarios. So you have the dragon, the bone hydra, sea giant. You have something here called a cog. I'm not sure what that is. The wound card looks like they just describe some of the different statuses of the ship. You have some bait cards here, and they look like they maybe some different things that can happen to the ship during the game. Have the other pack of small cards here. And some more wound cards. You have different, the rest of these are damage cards, it looks like. So you have keel, so different things that can happen to the ship. Chunk of special conditions, and it looks like you have different damages to different sections: speed, hull, crew. So those would be, I guess, different things that you would assign to your thing to where they're damaged. Open up the book and take a look at it. Just a quick flip through it. Like it is a full color, and looks to be just under 100 pages at 97 pages or so. You get a nice old sea chart to start out in the beginning. Like you get a little bit of story there to start. Looks like you have an introduction section. Section on the rules from about 16 to 42. Get a little story for a few pages. A description of the good guys, a description of your bad guys. Some scenarios, and then your appendices. Get some full color pieces, all the different ships. Go into, I guess, maybe how to put the stuff together a little bit, how the different cards work, some basic rules it looks to start out with. Yeah, so you got a good section of the rules there. Looks like you get some, maybe a little story on each of the ships and what their particular specialties are. And then you get into the scenarios in the back of the book. And then you get a summary of the rules sheet in the back. I notice it is missing like a summary sheet like you'd normally get with some of the other stuff, where it's just a one-page card stock. I did not see that in there. Looks like there's 12 scenarios, a dozen scenarios in here. Try to take a look at the miniatures now. Get some of this other stuff out of the way. So you have what looks like your terrain here, and some sort of little measuring stick, I guess, when you're turning the ship. Try to come in close and look at some of this. Of course, it's got the obligatory skulls everywhere, kind of standard on GW stuff. Kind of a wrecked ship in the waves there. There's another wrecked looking ship. A lot of jagged rocks. Maybe it's a volcano with a little sacrificial piece up to the top, kind of like the little sacrificing the King Kong movies where they tie her to the little sticks. So that's like some of your terrain. Looks like you get a little wind dial there maybe. And then all these ships come with bases, and they have a wave texture on them. And they pin into the holes. And then you have the actual ships. There's the bloated dead fish ship. There's the submarine, the squid. Looks to be 3 or 4 pieces for it. I know something Beast of War pointed out in the review, all the detail on these sails and banners is actually sculpted into there. It's not a lot of freehand work to it like it looks in the picture. As I believe that's the Tomb King's undead looking ship there. There's one side of it, and there's the other. Sail to it, the middle piece. And I believe this is the floating wraith-like ship here. Kind of like a rib cage. And then I'm not sure which ship that is. Maybe the High Elf ship. Looks like a little bitty ship there. That may be what a cog is. These are really tiny ships. Like the decking for it, you have a couple of dragons here. This looks like the back part that fits on the stern of the elemental ship. Maybe the arms for some of the elementals. There's the fire elemental. Some different looking trophies here. Here's the swordfish tip ship. Looks like a lot of decorative shells on the side of it. And decking for it. Some more of those tiny little ships. Looks like you have the dwarf ship here, the ironclad ship. I don't know if that's a little bitty piece to it or another ship by itself. Maybe a torpedo, I don't know. That's what it kind of looks like. Kind of see some of the detail on the ironclad here. And back into the elemental stuff. This sprue looks like it's mostly sails, but I'll get some shot. You can see kind of the detail that a lot of these sails have to them. They're actually sculpted into the sail. They weren't freehand. Some different masts and stuff here. Catch the other ones. And that's pretty much all that was on that sprue was sails. You have the big galleon Heldenhammer here with all the cannons in it. The guy with this thing on the front. Looks like that's the stern of the ship there. And maybe a little undead Hydra monster. Looks like this is the head to the giant. Here's the other side of that. That's not the other side of the Heldenhammer. I think this is the side to the big bad ship. Yeah, because I think he has the castle. It's almost like a floating island, because here's the piece that it would fit onto. Almost like an island that he can float around. This is the other side to that. There's decking for one of the ships. maybe, I'm not sure what that piece is. I'm sure it goes to the Helden hammer. I'm not sure how it fits. It could be the bow. There's the bad guy's part of the tower that fits on his ship. It's connected to some other piece. The bad guy ship kind of almost looks like a scrapyard. There's another sea monster. Some more of these little small ships. I'm guessing that's what the cogs are. You have an undead giant. Here's the other half of the Helden hammer. It's got the other half of the guy on the bow. And that's everything that comes in DreadFleet. Kind of show how big the mat is real quick here. You know, you got the size of the box. You can kind of see how big it is compared to my hand. It's a pretty thick box. Well, there is the box sitting on the mat. You know, it's a nice cloth. There's white on the back. It's a very large mat.